All right, guys, we are back. We are back with another stage breakdown. This is stage 4. This is actually the first stage we started on. So this is first stage of the day, raw, cut, no practice whatsoever. Escape from Alcatraz. I have no idea who came up with that name, but that's the name. As you see, Brendan shot 50.21%, 26 alphas, 4 Charlies, 2 deltas, 1 no shoot with a time of 40.6 and a hit factor of 3.300. Mark on the right, 43.59%, 23 alphas, 6 Charlies, 2 deltas, 1 mic, 1 procedural. And you will see where that came from because it's not from him. It's not from actually a shooting mic. It's just from not engaging a steel target, which is something Giancarlo was doing all day with a time of 40.13. So Mark was actually faster, but he shot percentage-wise less because he had the mic and the procedural, which holds more negative value over 1 no shoot. 1 no shoot is, I think that was minus. Oh no, they're both the same. I think they're both minus 20, right? Yeah, I think they're both minus 20. Mike is minus 10, procedural's minus 10. I think no shoot. Why does he have a no shoot? Why does he have a no shoot mic? It should be a mic. So if you're new here, we do stage breakdowns. We shoot stages locally and we like to break them down, give you guys some educational value from our shooting for free. We don't obviously charge for this. So, we do this stuff to make you guys better shooters, give you guys some insider knowledge, and we like doing it. And this is something we like to do all the time. We do try to publish these videos after every single match. I don't know, for maybe like 3 weeks, you guys will get stage breakdowns, not just from these two perspectives, but you also get it from mine and Giancarlo's. If you haven't seen any of those, they're on our YouTube. I'm pretty sure you posted all of our Giancarlo's and mine stage breakdowns on YouTube right now, right? From Battle at the Beach. All right. Yeah, so the new stage breakdowns are just going to be all of Brendan and Mark's, and let's start the stage. So we're going to watch it as we usually do.
Oh my god. This is crazy.
If you are finished on the panel, put your hand down, holster.
All right, so that's a stage. A lot to talk about, preferably for both of them, especially with him forgetting to shoot steel, which comes with, for you first-time guys that want to go out and shoot a stage, I've never shot a stage, you're going to forget to shoot targets. It happens to everybody. I've seen it happen to everybody. It happens to me. It happens to Mark. It's happened to Giancarlo. How many targets did Giancarlo forget to shoot at Battle at the Beach? Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you're going to forget to shoot targets, especially if you're like your first 5 matches, almost guarantee you're going to forget to shoot stages. And if you say you're not going to forget, well, I got news for you. You're going to forget and then you did the same thing, same target too. So, let's break this down. Mark, right off the bat, fast. Brendan opted to go to the left side target and then transition. Well, there's one target to the right as well. So he opted to go from transition right, then back to left. I don't know why he did that. I think during his stage planning, he opted to do the same thing you did, which was draw on the right side target and then go left. I don't know why he did that, but either way, Mark did really well here with getting his gun up ready to shoot. As he actually, if you do, I think we have an overlay of 3 different POVs. Mark actually got his gun up and got the first shot off before me and Giancarlo and Brendan, I'm pretty sure. So Mark off to a fabulous start. Fast, speedy, doing what he needs to do. Right off the bat, transition to steel, transitions over. I will say, so 2 alphas right there. Nice. And this is what I'm talking about when I tell you guys to literally just have low dot confirmation on targets that are literally, I don't know, what is that? 2 yards? Yeah, that are 2 feet in front of you. Literally just look at the center of the target and throw your gun there. Your gun's gonna go where your eyes are looking. If you have enough practice doing it. Obviously, if you have a brand new platform or brand new gun, your index is going to be slightly off. It's not going to be the same. I know. I will say the threshold is going to go from, like, if you go from a Glock, which has a 22-degree grip angle, and then you go to like 1911 style angles, which these OZ9s have, is more of a straight up and down. And then you go to a Glock, the index is going to be completely off, and you're going to need to build some muscle memory behind that. So guns that have a steeper or a more of an angle, you're probably going to have to practice with that if you're coming from over. So that is like the threshold of it. That's like the highest threshold of it. So if you have a 1911 or some 1911 style grip and you practice with that, and then you go to a Glock, it's going to be off. I don't recommend you just throwing your gun up there and doing that. It's going to be different. So if you have time on your gun, doing this should be no problem. Just throw your gun, just look at the center of the target, throw your gun there and pop two. To be honest with you, for me personally, I don't even need to see where my dot is. I mean, you should definitely see where your dot is, no question about that. But I don't know, I'm pushing, point and shoot. I'm pushing over 25,000 rounds on my gun that I've been using, and literally I just throw the front of my gun up there and I put two in the alpha box. So then we finish sector 1. Mark comes over, doing exactly what to do. Thumb to the reload button. Brendan is still shooting steel, missing. Mark botched reload right off the bat to start the day. And as you can see, he did it right there, because right there, guys, and this is why I advocate, it's loaded. Then again, you could be checking your ammo, because on one of the stages you forgot to load your mags. So, I mean, he's not wrong. But I will say, forgetting, this is why I advocate, and this is why we train with keeping your finger on the front face of the magazine with your finger indexing to get into the mag well, is for this reason, is so you don't miss the mag well of your gun. Because if your finger gets to be able to touch the flare, your magazine's going to insert into your gun a lot faster, and you're not going to get errors like this slowing you down. Now, did it slow Mark down? No, because he's reloading in dead space. And for you new shooters, you want to be reloading in dead space. Dead space is space that that has no effect on doesn't have effect because you're moving and reloading at the same time. So if you're able to move and reload in dead space, or reload in dead space because it has no effect on your overall match, on your stage performance, that's when you reload. But at LIPSA, there are some stages where we reload in place, because either one, we run out of ammo because we only limited to 10 shots, or that's what the stage calls for. But in this case, it does not affect Mark's performance at all because it's dead space. Comes in. I will say this is the most problematic sector, and it really shows. I've had this discussion with you, and this shows where your weakness is in shooting. And not to say that he didn't have good hits, it's just his overconfirmation and slow shooting splits is like where Mark needs to get better at shooting overall. Mark's movement is perfectly okay. As you see, he's just as quick as everybody else. It's just his shooting speed is very, very slow, and he's over confirming on every single one of these targets. What is this? 10 yards, if that? It's probably about 10 yards, actually. So as you see, beats Brendan to sector 2. Brendan doesn't even have his gun up. Mark's ready to shoot. So Mark ultimately beats him there, and then beats him off of it too. But I will say, guys, this is a very good, this would be very good education stuff, right? So when you have an array of targets like this, guys, specifically set up like this right here is what we like, dry fire would significantly help you with this array of targets. Now, I understand if you're a new shooter, you're not going to want to shoot that no shoot. I mean, it's glaring at you. The pressure's on not to shoot it. And I know very little of it is showing, but still, I understand as a new shooter, you're going to be like, fuck, I don't want to shoot the no shoot. let me slow down. Whereas if I pull up a side-to-side video of me and Giancarlo, me preferably, because I think Giancarlo slowed down on this. I think Mark actually finished shooting this faster than Giancarlo did, but needless to say, Mark could have shot this significantly faster, and Brendan did too. Literally, this open target was shot at the same speed and the same down confirmation as this no-shoot target. And you want to avoid that, guys, especially on the stage, because think about it this way. If you're putting a half a second split here and a half a second split here and a half a second split here, that's 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second. That's 4 seconds of time that you're spending standing here. Now, if you were to shoot this at a 0.20 split, which is like the splits where you should be aiming, anywhere between like a 0.20 and a 0.25 split is where you want to be at that. I would say this is not reactive shooting. This is going to be predictive shooting. You're going to be able to just have a very small amount of dot confirmation. You're going to pull the trigger at 10 yards, especially at 10 yards. So you're going to put your dot on the middle of the target or where you're looking, preferably the middle of the target. And you should be able to bang out shots in a quarter second time, transition to the center array, and then transition to the left array. Now, if you're doing this in 0.20 splits, let's use 0.20 as the time. So now you're spending less than a half a second firing 2 shots on a target rather than 1 second per 2 shots on target. So now you're more than a half a second faster per target, and then you're already getting to move to the transition and the cue for transitional speeds. Some people say it's the lift of the dot. Some say the cue to go to the next target is a trigger pull. And for me, it is the trigger pull because after as soon as I pull the trigger, I'm literally looking at the next target. I'm not watching my dot. So then you're at 0.20, which is a 0.4 overall. Then you're at another 0.20. So now we're at 0.80. Then we're at 1 second. Then we're at 1.2 seconds compared to 4 seconds. So Mark is literally shooting this 4 times slower than what he actually could do it, because I watched him do this. I watched him do build drills, and I watched him shoot arrays of targets with 0.25 splits, 0.20 splits, and be perfectly okay. So I shot this 4 times slower, meaning that he has 4 times the amount of time here. So he's 4 times slower. He could have been 4 times faster had he just confirmed himself, not confirmed nearly as much on the dot, and just pulled the trigger and not have to worry about whether he mics or misses or whatever the result is. But either way, it costs him a lot of time here, and you'll see his shooting speed really start to affect them on this side of the stage as well, especially when targets are very close. Like on this target, guys, there, he threw his dot up there, right? I'm assuming you threw your gun up there, looked, and then just pulled the trigger as fast as you possibly can. Yeah. So because this is 2 yards, he should have been doing the same thing here. Now, I get it. You're not going to have insanely lightning fast splits here, but you should still be able to get away with 0.20 splits on 10 yards. During your live fire practice, guys, if you only have an indoor range, you could literally put a paster on a target and shoot that. You could do doubles on that. And you can, I don't know, most indoor ranges have like that hanger system where you can hang targets at like 5, 10, 15, 20 yards. Just practice on that. Practice your dot confirmation, practice your doubles, practice your shooting, practice with your vision, looking where you want to look and shooting, and not obviously being dot focused. And that's what you can do at the indoor range. Our indoor range is actually pretty good for that. You don't really need to go to the outdoor and have movement and do all the crazy shit that you see on the stage. Literally dot confirmation you could do at an indoor range quite easily, honestly. But back onto the rest of the stage. So Mark leans over, and so does Brendan. Did you reload? Oh yeah, you did reload. So Mark's clean. I wouldn't say clean, but cleaner reload. Comes in. That is true. You should do that. Then we can't criticize your reloads. Mark opts to come into the tux, aiming the tux. Now, what should have happened, and I know we all did this, was we should have actually taken this target while we were after the reload and then transitioned to the right. Would have been a little bit faster, but I don't know how much faster, but I know some guys that had faster times than me were taking this target on the move and then transitioning to the tux. But the best part comes right now. So Mark, I wouldn't say overshoots his spot, but he shot 2 mics. right there. And you could see them plain as day. And you made them up. I'm assuming you made them up. So that's what I say, guys. If you yeah, he did actually go back. So because you've seen that, I'm assuming, right? All right. So as you see, guys, he wasn't looking in the right area. And I think a lot of that had to do with him not being in the correct spot. So I'm assuming you were moving right here. You overshot your spot. And then when you came in, I'm assuming that your arms or your eyes moved from the extra step that you had to take. And then you missed your spot where, because I'm assuming when you were running into here, you were looking here. And then you overshot because you did take a step back. Yeah, see, as you see it right there, guys. He overshot and then came back. And I'm assuming he was looking here, and then that step really fucked him. And that's, obviously, if you're looking here, your gun's gonna be pointing there. And we say this all the time: wherever your eyes are looking, your gun is pointing. So pop two, came back, popped another one because he did have 2 mics, and you guys can make those up. And I'm glad that he did make them up because those would have been 2 additional mics, and he already's at 43.59%. But a big portion of his percentage comes from, you'll see right in a second. So even here, you'll see that this is what? Less than 10 yards, we say? Would you say it's less than 10 yards? Yeah. So even here, guys, like on open targets like this that don't have the hard cover on it, and I understand that the hard cover for new shooters is going to be like that mental mind game thing. It's like, oh no, there's a hard cover there. Let me not shoot it. And realistically, most of the A zone, would you say, is open there, right? I'm going to say most of the A zone is, yeah. So realistically, your dot should be on the middle of the target again, or in the upper echelon of the A zone. And you should be able to pop too, and you shouldn't have to worry about that. But in Mark's case, he shot all these at the same speed, regardless of the distance. So he shot this at the same speed, this is the same speed, and this at the same speed, and then just said, fuck the steel, I'm not going to shoot that. And as you see, even there, you did overconfirm ever so slightly, which is fine, which is okay. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. But new shooters, you guys will be doing that. I can assure you that you'll be doing that because every new shooter that we see overconfirms on no shoots because of what's the penalty on a no shoot? It's got to be no shoot mic. I don't know why he just has 1 no shoot. It should be a mic on here too, but I'm assuming it was like a perf and they just got the no shoot. I don't know why, but every time I've had a no shoot, it should be a mic too. But either way, Mark did slow down ever so slightly, and I understand this is at 10 yards again, and that really should have no effect on your the shot speed or your split times. But you see this little steel target right here, guys? Mark said not today. Just skipped right over it. Mark goes into sector. This is the last sector. Pops, transitions over. Now, guys, I understand that he did shoot all the targets, but for him to gain speed or have lesser time on the stage, I would have shot this from right to left. That's how he came in, and this is how the targets presented themselves. So instead of transitioning over and then shooting steel, I would have transitioned just to the left and a big U. So as you see right here, Mark said, let me just go shoot the no shoot. And I'm pretty sure you did put 2 in the alpha. Yeah, at the top of the A box. Either way, that looks like 2 alphas too. I think that alpha is like right on the line, which is great. It's still an alpha. But I would have transitioned from this array. You guys shouldn't be like transitioning left, right, left, and they're just, you shouldn't be skipping around. You guys should be transversing a sector or an array of targets, how they're presented to you. So if this is presented to you first, don't jump over to the left side target because it's closer. Just finish your shooting in the array that they're made available to you. Now, you will see Mark miss on steel. We did have, right after this, we did change his 0. You guys should be adjusting your zeros over time and for the ammos that you're shooting, specifically if you change ammo types or change brands. And I will say that velocity of 124 grain is not standardized across ammos. It's absolutely not. I have 124 grain that chronos at 1220 with not even being plus P, and then I have 124 grain that chronos at like 1080. So that is like kind of wild that I go from 1080 to 1220 with the same grain weight bullet, which is going to have a change on your zero. And Mark will tell you this, that the targets at longer range will affect your actual zero. Like, you want to have proper zero on your gun, and you will see that he literally missed 2 targets right to the left ever so slightly. Right there. He literally put, I'm going to say both of those were right over the left side shoulder of this popper, right? Yeah, literally 3, and then right on the left side again. I'm assuming you were aiming dead center of that target.
If you are finished,
Yeah, we changed it over a couple clicks to the right, and he was good after that. So, like, stuff like that, equipment stuff, you guys need to have that stuff in check before you shoot a match. I wouldn't go to a match with an unzeroed red dot, or a red dot that you're not sure about, or a red dot. And also, while we're on this topic, don't zero your red dots at 7 yards. Zero at like 15, 20, and 25. Preferably 25. That should be your zero. And if you want to break it down in the middle, do 20. My carry gun, the gun that I carry every day on me, is zeroed at 15 yards, and my match gun is zeroed at 20, I think it's 20 yards, which is fine for me because I know the ballistics on it. And knowing the ballistics of your gun makes a big difference when you're shooting matches. Because when I shot this, when obviously if you go back in the previous YouTube videos, you will see that I talk about that, because I go from a ported gun to a comp gun, and the barrel is almost an inch longer, so I'm getting extra velocity, and I'm shooting right over the top of the head, and I'm aiming like dead center target on steel, and it's kind of like what's going on. So, like, that little bit of extra velocity I'm getting is making my bullet not drop nearly as fast at 25 yards, going right over the top. So, ballistics matter, guys. I will say that's the end of the video. If anybody's watching this that is in the local area, we do have a 2-day class at the end of June, June 27th and 28th, I'm pretty sure. It's on our website, nxgtraininggroup.com. You guys can go sign up for that. We will be, day 1 is pistol fundamentals, where we go over just, the basics of this stuff, where we really teach you guys the basics of vision, grip, drawing, the entry level stuff that, you guys should be working on to get better at shooting. And then the next day is pistol performance. We work on more of like dynamic stuff, moving and shooting, and the more advanced stages of fundamentals that you guys should be having. So if anybody's watching that and you live in the tri-state area and you want to come out and take a class, just contact us. Either you guys could email us, go to the website, even our Instagram. You can contact us on Instagram, and we'll be happy to get you in the class. But that's all I have for stage 4. I will be stage 5 and 6 will be up next week sometime. When will stage 5 and 6 be posted? And stage 3 and 4 are going to be posted, obviously, Monday and Wednesday. All right, well, there you guys have it from the content maker himself. This stage will be posted. So you guys enjoy. Have a good day. We're out.